'tis the season for believing. Santa Claus believes in Bigfoot, why don't you? Santa Claus believes in Bigfoot, why don't you? Santa Claus believes in Bigfoot, why don't you? It's true. Ho, 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 ho. Bigfoot believes in Santa Claus, why don't you? Bigfoot believes in Santa Claus, why don't you? Bigfoot believes in Santa Claus, why don't you? It's true. Whoop, 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 whoop. I believe in Santa Claus and Bigfoot too. I believe in Santa Claus and Bigfoot too. I believe in Santa Claus and Bigfoot too. I do. Ha ha ha. Ho 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 whoop.
Love that. Thank you, Alan Kane.
Good job. Perfect. That's it, I think.
The inimitable Alan Kane. Haven't seen him in ages. So we're recording here. There's a little Christmas spirit for you. I'm rarely on this side of the lens, so forgive my scatterbrain nature and my ADD and all of that. I just thought I'd touch base and kind of recap the year. Merry Christmas to you all, by the way, and if you don't celebrate, please consider it. It's not a bad thing. And get something out before you settle down with your families and such. I hope it's not a blue one for you, as it is to so many out there, and you're not alone. I also find this time of year very difficult. Not going into that. So, just wanted to recap the year. If you haven't yet captured the documentary by Small Town Monsters, please do. It was really well done. I'm not just saying that because my story and my evidence, as they've aired it, has the honor of taking up a lot of time. They gave me some really wonderful screen time and replayed some audio. And one of the audio that they played was the speech I picked up in 2020 up in the UP. It's also on, I think, the front or the about page of MichiganAboriginal.com. You can check it out. But Seth Breedlove, he slowed down that audio, and for the first time I had heard it slowed down. I hadn't done that on my own, although I have the capability. I just don't find a need to go in there. Anyway, I heard that, and it was terrifying. So they did some very creative things and gave me more than my fair shake of time on that documentary. You can check it out on my posts page, which is on my YouTube channel, Michigan Aboriginal Project on YouTube. So, and not only was it a great documentary, something happened along the line, and if you follow my work, you'll know this already, but during that documentary there was a voice recorded that was not part of our little group. We were about 20 feet from the recorder that recorded this voice. The recorder was placed at the mouth of my hot tent, and we were a good 20 feet away having some small chat, talking about the gun salvo vocals that I had captured, I think back in 22 or 23. Maybe 24. I don't know. I've got 22, 23, and 24. I've got wonderful audio. I really haven't spent a lot of time invested in sharing that with you. I'm sorry. I have shared some stuff on my Facebook channel. If you want to check that out, Michigan Aboriginal Project on Facebook. I do share here and there, and oftentimes I'll share stuff that I haven't put into a video format. So. Or at least a presentation format. Check it out. Join the group on Facebook, please. Check out MichiganAboriginal.com. I'm not an active blogger, but I do have 2 posts on there, and you kind of get the gist of where the direction of the Michigan Aboriginal Project is going, based on the evidence alone. As you know, this project is very organic. It started with me just wanting to see one. And wow, the rest is history. Boy, and I have seen a lot. And one thing you ought to know, if you want to poke it around their neck of the woods, they're eventually going to visit you, and much of the audio, and perhaps even some of the audio I'll share with you today, was captured right outside my campsite. Actually, while I'm on that, since I'm totally ADD, let me play for you an expression I got. And this expression is, among others, although it was the most prominent, and we're not going to spend too much time on that footage, but it was accompanied by other vocal, or what I call verifying vocal elements, meaning that, you know, when you hear this kind of stuff, they are generally around. And it's a lot of it's that subtle clicks and clucks, and also subtle harmonic resonant speech. And this, however, is somewhat resonant and harmonic in its tone and timbre, but it's an expression, I would guess, by a male subject of middle age, perhaps. I don't know. I've heard, and you might think I'm crazy actually referencing middle age. I've heard things that sound ancient. I mean, so old that, you know, you would imagine only a gravelly voice can be a part of that age. I mean, voices age as well. Mine's a little deeper than it was, 30 years ago. And a little more gravelly. So anyway, let me play for you that. Let me get to my album here. I'll show you what it looks like. This is the Michigan Aboriginal Project. I've got like 400 videos, mainly videos, but also some still shots and some favorite shots of mine as captured over the years. So I'm going to share with you that expression, and it sounds like, oh, here it is. Here we go. This is looped 4 times. This is and it's not changed so much from its original. This might even be original footage because it has some hissy nature to it. So enjoy. Ojijwa. 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 It's beautiful. And that, I like it because, well, I just like it. Let's share. Okay, so recently, just yesterday morning, Steve Isdall, if you don't know him, he has The Facts by How to Hunt. I got lucky and got a puck past the goalie, if you will, of the goalie of abundant stuff that he can never get through in a lifetime, if you ask me. But he played. He got one of my emails, and he played 2 clips that I said, I'm going to play those for you now, because as he played them, you lose a lot of fidelity. He did it directly from his phone into his camera, and there is a lot lost. So hopefully you can, the fidelity of what I'm about to play with you now, and I'll play it in the same order. We're going to listen to that terrifying one before that sounds demonic. So those of you that may have found me through his channel, I've heard a couple of comments on that episode were that it was demonic. I can't say they're not. It sounds terrifying, and they're quite different from the second clip I'm going to play, which I more closely associate with the Sasquatch that I've interacted with over the past 9 years. So here is that crazy, scary. I'm not going to play it too loud. Here we go. It's 34 seconds. Listen to this. Now that's definitely a deep, low voice. Listen, it said something saw someone. That's what it sounds like to me anyway. You tell me what you hear. All right, so there's a very soft, low voice at the very beginning of this, and it also is reminiscent of that someone saw someone or someone's that vocal that, and I don't know if that's what that individual was saying, but sure sounds like it. We're gonna listen to the whole thing again. Feel that in the air. Okay, that's enough of that one. That's terrifying. That was captured on August 11th, 2020, up in the UP, not, well, a little bit of a drive from Marquette, but up there, not far from Lake Superior, the Lake Superior shore. Here is what I captured in northern lower Michigan, and it's interesting, on Steve's video, I read a comment that someone said, "Holy shat." I've heard that. It sounds just like what he has heard, and sounds like he lives in the same neighborhood, because he said northern lower Michigan. If he's around the Gaylord area, he could have heard the very beings that carried on in this way. Now, this is civil discourse. It is coordinated, it's respectful, and it's amazing. You'll hear a variety of things in this short clip. It's only 25 seconds, which is an abbreviated clip from 52 original. You can find the Michigan Valley Voices. Check that out in my repertoire and have a listen. But here's 25 seconds of that clip. You hear that deep thumping? Yeah, throughout that, you hear that deep pulsing. I believe that is a big boy close to the recorder. Forgive me, you might think I'm guano loco here, but it's as if it's conducting the conversation and vocal exchange that's going on, which is a form of communication. I mean, there are utterances there that are in conventional speech. You hear the pops. If you listen to the whole 52-second clip, it begins with the half of what people call wood knocks, which is actually a vocal. And, well, that's pretty crazy. So thank you, Steve Isdall, and the Facts by How to Hunt. May your mission continue and be successful. And let's see, what else can I play for you here? Let's see. Oh yeah, the Nikakita audio. If you haven't seen it, check out, I think I titled it Trail Cam Captures Bigfoot, quote-unquote, vocals, and eye shine. So you will hear speech in this clip, and you will hear, you won't see the eye shine. You'll have to watch the video for that. But there's a subject in the background that has eyes, and he's between the ridge, edge of my camp and somewhere in the distance, and its eyes are just up into the plane of IR light that my trail cam. So here's a short story. My trail cam was set up from the mouth of my hot tent looking out this night. Sometimes it's facing in, depends on nothing. But it's looking out, and a raccoon triggers the trail cam. And had that raccoon not done that, the audio would never have been picked up. The subject in the background would not have revealed itself by way of its eye shine and its response to a vocal that sounds like Nikikita. We'll hear that here. But check that out. It's a fun video, increasingly popular, which I'm grateful for. So share that one. If you know me by now, you know I'm not much of a sensationalist personality. This is even difficult for me, so give me a break. Here we're going to listen to that audio that actually it was a Guard Pro trail cam that picked up this audio. That's me snoring. That was the Chiquita, Nikikita, whatever. Happens at the 9-second mark of the 30-second trail cam capture. Ouchie, see that? That's another vocal of ouchie. It's certainly not the raccoon. Raccoons don't talk, especially not like this. Ouchie. That's my snore. Oh, and there was in the background, there's like a measure it, I think. I didn't hear it. Measure it right beyond, it's in the background of my snore. Measure it. So that was the trail cam. Oh, another interesting story. If you haven't caught it on the Untold Radio Network, Doug Hychek's program, he and his buddy, I'm sorry, I can't think of his name right now. I apologize for that. His sidekick interviewed me, and we reviewed a lot of audio. I got on his podcast because I had sent him some audio that I had gotten in Minneapolis, and we're talking like right outside of the city. My wife grew up in Richfield, and her sister remains there at an adult foster care home, and behind her home is a nature area and preserve. I think it's called Wood Lake. They call Richfield an urban suburb, or something like that. But it's right there, and it's generally being enveloped by the growing megalopolis that Minneapolis is. But neat little community, beautiful homes, great people. Of course, I married one from there. And where to go? Oh, I picked up some vocals. And let me try to find. So the short story is, I walked through this nature preserve, and when I'm in these areas along the waterways, somehow connected with the waterways, I'm looking for structures, and the structures I found at the Wood Lake Nature Preserve are amazing. They were really, really neat. And from one of them, I actually captured vocals from two of them, but one has bugs in the foreground, very, very difficult to hear and very harsh on the ears. But there was another spot that I captured two vocals, and I will have to, I wonder if I can search on date.
Lots of people here.
That was August of this year, so it's not too far
Good morning.
back. Bear with me, please. That's Ojibwa, so that's later. That's not it. Okay. Okay, these are them. These are those. Here are the clips that I'm going to play for you. Thanks for hanging in there with me. I believe these are from the Wood Lake Preserve, from a structure, what I call the classroom structure. Here we go. Wait.
Got a little sloppy.
The other one I like even more. That's cool, but this is even cooler because this one has a similar tone and timbre to that which you may have heard from Ron Moorhead's voices in the background. It's conventional speech, and there are other verifying vocal elements accompanying this. So again,
Anyway, hard for me to see with my sunglasses on.
showing that they stick
But that's
together,
good. It's
and
promising.
this is an actual
I've got ample
Sabe person speaking.
material to listen to throughout the day.
Hudson Yacht.
Turning
Hudson Yacht. Pretty cool. And these structures that I found there are not 100 yards from my sister-in-law's home. They're there, and
programmed.
which really kind of tickles your brain. I find these places. I have found structures. In this case, near an adult foster care. I have found structures in an elderly care facility on the grounds. Actually very near the memory care section of that elder care community. I have found structures near churches, near elementary schools, and it makes you wonder about the nature of these beings. I mean, they live in the night, they kind of own the night, and if they are part of this unseen realm, you may, if you're familiar with my work, I'm speaking, and I'm becoming a little less abashed about actually saying that, because I'm now convinced, being formerly atheist, that we do live in a supernatural world, and the supernatural worldview that the late Dr. Michael Heiser was trying to revive, I think is real, and it's in our own backyards, it's in our own communities. I've recorded things in Southfield, Ann Arbor, all around Detroit, I don't have any audio from the Clinton watershed, but I'm going to. I'm going to meet with Brian Sawyer. We're going to do a little program and visit that place, visit a place for the first time, drop recorders, and see what happens. Stay tuned for that. It's just another day in the life, right? What else can I share with you? Yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to share something that I published a little while ago, and this is one of those I haven't spent too much time talking about. There's a lot of weird stuff, and if I don't know if I published it on YouTube, but on the Facebook group page, you'll see it post like this. This has some less than a minute of audio from this space, and but it's at night, right? So listen up. Okay, did you hear that? Chippewa. In the background, there's a youthful, high timbre voice. Sounds like Chippewa. Wait, all right, sorry. Chippewa. Chippewa. Listen to what follows. There are other subjects present with this, speaking in their voices, their language. So what we're listening to is actually quieter, of course, than the natural bird song there. And this clip has been amplified marginally a number of times, a few times, I should say. And I probably put a chorus in there so that we could better distinguish the voices present. Let's go back. I'll play that Chippewa. Listen to the seconds after this very subtle Chippewa expression. You have others in there, and it sounds like one of them says, in my house or in this house or something like that. You be the judge. And Google in the morning, or you hear that? That's not what they're saying, but very, very high-pitched voice. Hard to hear. When you have earbuds on, in a silent room, volume up, you can detect this stuff. Crazy vocals, and these are vocals. I'm going to play the last half again. There are vocals, and there's that deep percussive melodic cadence going on, and there are high-pitched voices around in the area, I should say, and that you can detect if you listen very closely. All right, pretty cool stuff. I'm gonna let's start with this. I mentioned Dr. Michael Heiser, the late and great Dr. Michael Heiser. I have a clip about him, and I have a playlist called Angels, and it's all of Dr. Michael Heiser's work and his biblical Hebrew wisdom knowledge, reflecting on the perhaps actual existence of beings in an unseen realm. Let's listen to what he has to say. I'll hold him up so you can see him. It's 1 minute, 50 seconds, and for those of you truly curious about where my work is going, this has a significant, this expresses perhaps a significant component of what I've found in our woods.
The language of angels is, in fact, a language that only they have. Scholars refer to this as sort of an esoteric language or babbling or something that humans could not decipher. And there are books in the Second Temple period that take that trajectory as well, where you have people appear in heavenly scenes and there's conversation going on and the people involved have no idea what is being said. It's a totally different language. Since we have this Second Temple and intertestamental evidence for that trajectory, again, that becomes a possibility for interpreting 1 Corinthians 13, verse 1 as well. So you actually have this division of opinion and this unclarity as to what the phrase even means in the Second Temple period, and that really continues on for us, because when Paul uses this term, well, where's Paul going to land here is the whole question. And people will appeal, to passages like when he's taken up in 2 Corinthians 12, and he sees things that, ordinarily, humans shouldn't see, where he has this visionary experience or this trance experience. I mean, scholars even parse that differently. There's disagreement. And he hears things that are not lawful to utter, that cannot be repeated, this kind of language. Well, does that mean that he's unable to understand it? And therefore the language of heaven would be this ecstatic stuff? Or does it mean he shouldn't repeat it? Like he does understand it, but just shouldn't repeat the message, shouldn't be talking about it. It's just hard to know what Paul means. And so that ambiguity has sort of carried over into study and exegesis of 1 Corinthians 13. The language of angels is, in fact, a language that only they have. Scholars refer to this as sort of an esoteric language or babbling or something that humans could not decipher.
remember that. When I heard that for the first time, I don't know, in the past couple of years, I was so reminded of the crazy stuff I experienced in my first very, very vocal, one of my first encounter, but it was my first very, very vocal encounter. And it was, the date was, it was October 21st, 2019. I remember it well. It was around 8 p.m. I was halfway through my second beer, and I stood up to stretch, and I heard some really, really crazy stuff. What I heard was, oh, chi-chi-chu-ha, from the river downstream, and then I heard some swishing noises, which didn't translate on the audio. It comes across as something else, but at the time I remember it was feeling this swish, swish, and then a big boom. You can detect that in the audio as well, and I felt that this was like toward the river and upstream this time. Boom! And it sounded like an empty, I liken it to an empty dumpster being dropped onto concrete from a few feet on the air. But there's no concrete, there's no dumpsters where I was. Well, that's not true. There was, but it was behind us and farther away at a campground. But I felt that, and I'll play a minute 20 seconds of what I went through. And this starts out, this is really interesting actually. It starts out with cluck signaling, then some time and from two different subjects at two different locations, because the first one sounds distant, the second cluck cluck in response to the first, I presume, is closer to the recorder. Now, I never saw anything that night. I didn't. I just heard these voices and the vocals, and it was really, really quite crazy. Which version do I play for you? It's a minute 20. I'll find it. Oh, I mentioned earlier that clip that Seth Breedlove slowed down in the documentary, and I'll have to leave a link if I remember. This is the clip that he slowed down. This is direct. You won't hear it. You won't hear the slowed down version. You'll have to watch the documentary for that. But this is the clip. All right, that was played from a Bose Revolve little speaker, connected directly from the recorder it was captured on. And another version of that, if you want to hear a clearer version of that, this is it. It's kind of scary. Okay, so that was captured with the scary audio, the same night as the scary audio that I presented earlier, that which was reviewed on Steve's channel. Same night earlier, that was captured like right after I left, because the other recorder, which is about probably 60, 80 feet away, was set to go off at 8 o'clock, and I left there around 7:15, 7:20. So between 7:15, 7:20 at the time I left and 8 o'clock, because the other recorder was not engaged, it did not pick up these vocals, only a recorder that, a little smaller than this, and it has no computer interface. It was given to me, but I'm grateful to have figured out a way to get that audio out and present it in that way. This audio was captured the same night as the Hanzo clip shared on Steve's podcast. So, forgive my scatterbrained nature. I was looking for a minute 20 clip of around the time that I experienced the encounter, October 21st, 2018. Let's hold on now. This is a minute 25. I wonder if it's the same. goes. Hear that? That was a vocal. It sounds like Alberta gunfire. Alberta gunfire. I had my a sidearm on me, and I speculate that voice, Alberta gunfire, maybe he is speaking in English. How about the gunfire? Like, aren't you worried about what might happen? Something's going on, because you had that clucking. You only heard one of the clucks, but you had the cluck signaling going on, then the Alberta gunfire, and here's the rest. The moment that I know I'm having an encounter is coming up. Okay, that's the Ochichichuha. There's a little click, a melodic click, then an Ochichichuha in the distance. As I heard it, the fidelity was amazing. I mean, it sounded like Luciano Pavarotti out there just belting out something. It was beautiful. But when you realize you're not alone, I tell you, it's something else. Hold on. That was the Ochichichuha right in here. You hear me in the background too. Okay, I'm saying in the background, I'm hearing weird percussions in the background, something like that. And I have a theory, and I get into it later in that clip. I'm not going to share that with you now, but that they have an ability to speak within the general din of their environment. So it's raining in this case, and there's a preponderance now of these beings communicating with one another in the melodic clicking, clucking modality, that, whether it be a short cluck response, cluck, 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 you know, that, or, you know, the melodic stuff which you heard briefly recently. And in there, you're going to hear a voice that says, and it sounds kind of a demonic voice, that says, "Are you wreaking havoc?" We're not going to get that far in this clip, but about 2 minutes later, you hear the same voice saying, "Havoc, hate this man tomorrow," in that same gremlinish voice, which I'll play right now. We're going to go back to the Heji Lawa. You'll hear Heji Lawa, some other stuff, and a Rubba Cow. Let's start here. Here you go. You hear me in the background. I'm going to play the "Are You Wreaking Havoc" again, and there's a pop 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 pop. That pop 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 pop. Occurs twice in the clip. Same cadence, kind of rhythm. It's interesting. So they're speaking in a way that is totally blended in with, it's like vocal camouflage. they're speaking in a way that enables them to communicate and undetected by us. Now, before this all went down and after that went down, there was, and actually especially during, you heard the Heji Lawa and that crazy harsh sound. At one moment I got zapped, and it was like, it was like, the way I describe it is like that snow on an old TV when the networks would go off the air. You'd have this snow and this hissing, this static. It felt like that on my eardrums. It was really uncomfortable. Didn't hurt, but I was thinking, if this doesn't stop, it's going to kill me, because it was awful. But then it stopped, and you heard what was going on in the background. So the presence of many of these beings, I never saw a thing, could be these beings of an unseen world. If you understand the concept of territorial spirits, there's a ancient Hebrew word, not ancient, the whole language is ancient. There's a Hebrew word shadim, which I think was later interpreted as demons, which Dr. Michael Heiser considers unfortunate, because they are more aligned with territorial spirits. And remember, there are angels protecting Eden from us. We are the fallen ones. We've been kicked out of the garden. And the Shadim, these territorial spirits, even right up to the seraphim and the cherubim on the angelic hierarchy, they're kind of there to keep us out. Makes me wonder if these beings are in fact connected with this Shadim realm, this unseen realm, these territorial spirits that protect Eden from us getting back there. I don't know. It's just one tangent of thought. I am no biblical scholar to the nth degree. I do know a few things, and this is the only thing that makes sense to me about this whole phenomenon, especially I never played for you the Trifwa. This is the voice. This is my tangential thinking here, and I apologize for that. So anyway, was I visited that night by these Shadim? Because I never saw a thing. I heard maybe 10, 15, maybe 20 seconds of that. I felt stuff before and after and during. I got that zapped, but I never saw a thing. Never saw one of them. And so it does have to make you wonder. And I was going to go, okay, this is back in April when that crowd was, and I'll end on this, guys. Just bear with me. I've got to find. Okay, so as before this. This subject sounds like Trifwa. While we're in the background, it's in the foreground, and you certainly do hear it. Splash, two big boys. Bear with me. Oh boy. 10 minutes, come on. I've been taking a break from these audio because it can drive you very, very crazy. And it preoccupies your mind. It can throw you off balance in a heartbeat, no doubt. Come on, coyotes. Thumper. Voices. Hold on. Bear with me. Come on now. Ritualistic speech. 5 minutes. Shit. Come on. I gotta remember to edit this out. Feel free to fast forward. Fuck. Pardon my language. Can't find. I can't believe I can't find it. It's here. I know it's here. 12. Damn it. Well, I apologize. I am not on the ball, and I haven't finished my coffee yet. Shite. Hang in there. It's Nikikita. I swear it was before that. Maybe I didn't even discover this until afterward. Oh, here it is. Okay. This is that crazy little vocal, Trifwa. Heat. That's not it. What the heck? There it is. Okay, here we go. This is it. I promise. Here we go. We're in the background just chitty-chatting, and this is what you'll hear.
Also, it's a thing that has reoccurred. Was it the same location?
Place. Oh, it reoccurs.
Interesting.
Same valley. It reoccurs, you bet. Same valley, different year.
I'm going to check on these guys.
Trifwa.
I'm going to check on these guys.
That is a voice near my recorder, and you hear some the sound of gravel underneath as this being that we never saw walks away.
I'm going to check on these guys and see if they want to get out.
This is all right,
I don't have a car running. Huh?
And there are other verifying vocal elements. There are other vocal elements in here that I review, I think, in the Unseen Realm. There were voices from the Unseen Realm, where I entertain the thought that these are indeed, these beings can be invisible or cloaked somehow or whatever, speaking or reaching out from another dimension. Who the hell knows? I don't. But Trifwa, we were not alone. And this was like seconds after I had, for the first time ever, played some of my audio outdoors, which I do not recommend for anybody. Do not play this stuff out of doors, because they'll know, I'm pretty sure. So, here we go. Trifwa.
I'm going to check on these guys and see if they want to get out.
This is all right,
I don't have a car running.
Okay, so, all right. Hey, don't forget to buy some merch. Check out my store, please. I got cool logos. I got my main logo here. There we go. Designed by yours truly. Check them out. I'm grateful for every little purchase that comes my way. And in the past 4 or 5 years that my store has been open, I'm at about $340 in profits. So cheers to that. It's probably paid a bar tab here or there. So be well. Merry Christmas, and have a wonderful, happy New Year. And things are going to get quite busy around here. So in the midst of your madness, I hope you have a little time out to have gotten this far in this little dumb video. So anyway, peace be with you all. Enjoy the day. Count your blessings. And realize that this phenomenon, to me anyway, the very existence of these beings verifies so many of the Old Testament and apocryphal texts, narratives. We live in a supernatural world. There's no doubt about it. And it should be no surprise if you delve deep and learn from the history, the teachings, and the wisdom of the Bible. Check it out. Merry Christmas. If you don't celebrate Christmas, please consider it. All are welcome. Peace. So long.